What's going on, team? So right now I'm 33 years old, I'm sitting around 83 kilos, and to be completely honest, over the last 18 months I've been fairly homeostatic. That is to say, I've been a fairly good shape, size and weight for me. But obviously I've gone through periods of time in the past, as with a lot of young guys between the ages of about 18 and 25, 26, 27, my main objective was to get a little bit bigger. And also, like a lot of young guys with that objective, I tried a lot of different things in an attempt to kind of expedite my journey to get to that objective a little bit quicker. Some of it was smart and successful, and most of it a little bit less so. And now, about 15 years into my training and lifting journey, I today want to share with you a couple of little tips and tricks that I believe is the real deal and the stuff that works in regards to putting on some healthy muscle mass. Approaches that would allow you guys to put on some healthy weight in a healthy and sustainable way. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Jim Galvin, and on this channel we cover all things training, nutrition, biohacking and ancestral living to help people just like you cut through all of the fluff of the fitness industry, the modern age, to help you work out what you need to do based on your individual biology to help you improve your performance, your health and your physique. And today I want to share with you a couple of little knowledge nuggets that I've learned over the last 15 years of training and lifting on my journey that can help guys just like you achieve that objective of putting on a little bit of weight, but making sure that you do it in the best and healthiest way possible. So let's get cracking, shall we? Being able to gain a decent amount of muscle mass in a lean and sustainable way is like the flipping Shangri-La of the fitness industry, especially if you can do it without any symptoms like lethargy, just kind of constant tiredness, increase in body fat percentage, loss of cardio, soreness, everything just feeling a little bit heavy, symptoms like that. Is it possible to do this? I hear you cry. In short, yes. However, as is the case with a lot of these things, if you do it in the right way. There are a couple of pitfalls, however, that a lot of people seem to make for pretty much the same foundational reason. You are trying to cut a corner and bulk too quickly. So if we take a deep dive on what a couple of these mistakes and pitfalls are, hopefully from that we should be able to reverse engineer a couple of details and then work out what we should be doing. First of all, I have to say, pretty obviously the most common mistake that I see people make, both in my clients and my own experience as well when trying to put on weight, is that they just eat too much in this process. Eating 2 more meals a day than you normally do and increasing the portion size by all of these meals by flipping 30 to 50% is going to do nothing more than just create a massive amount of digestive stress. If your body isn't used to this, you can't expect to add in an extra 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day and just expect your digestive system in your body to seamlessly transition all of this stuff into lean, healthy muscle mass. Your body is just going to be in a state of shock from the scale of this caloric increase. So more often than not, the majority of this increase is just going to be processed and pass straight through. Your body will obviously take from it what it needs, which will be a couple of 100 calories a day extra, and then the rest of it is just going to be expelled. On the way through, however, this isn't an easy thing for your body to handle, and it will mean a massive increase in work for your digestive system, which with an exponential increase in things like chemicals and hormones and other rubbish that currently kind of floods the modern food industry in the Western world, is not going to be ideal. A lot of people out there might still be under the impression that massively increasing the volume of food that you're kind of inputting into your digestive system doesn't come with any deleterious effects, and I'm here to tell you that is just unfortunately not the case. The amount of time, effort and energy from your body attempting to process this stuff is massive and drastically reduces the amount of time, effort and energy your body has to do other things, ironically, like being in an anabolic state and actually repairing damaged muscle tissue. Is that me saying that eating too much can actually harm your gains? Yeah. In theory, if you're eating so much that your body's just spending all of its time, effort and energy trying to digest this flipping massive increase in food, it will take away from doing things like repairing that tissue. Exactly. So if we acknowledge that this is not the best thing to do to increase it by this much, but we know that we do need to eat a little bit more, how can we work out what is the ideal amount of increase? Good question, team, and we're going to get onto that. However, first, we're going to move straight into a kind of a second extremely common cock-up that I see a lot of people making when they're trying to put on weight, and that is the dirty bulk. This is the completely retarded idea that all calories are good calories when it comes to putting on muscle and size. Not particularly scientifically backed advice, in my opinion, and one that seems to result in pretty much exactly the same thing as overly increasing the volume of food that you're putting in your body. Huge amounts of digestive stress, constant lethargy, lack of any conditioning, and an increase in your body fat percentage. And because of this lack of energy and lack of condition, your performance in pretty much everything other than a static barbell lift is probably going to go down. I think the reason that people do this stuff and follow these these kind of approaches is probably for three main reasons, actually. Number one, to speed up the weight gain as they kind of convince themselves it'll help them get there quicker and that they can cut a corner with these methods. Number two, people like unhealthy crap, and sometimes, pretty much all the time, it actually tastes better than healthy crap. And this can give people the excuse and kind of the self-justification to start smashing the cookies and the ice cream and the chocolate and all the stuff, all in the name of so-called science and performance. And number three, gaining weight in a healthy and sustainable way that doesn't have deleterious symptoms is harder and it's slower, and therefore requires more effort and more discipline. So it can be tempting, and I can kind of understand, as I'm sure you can, why people would self-justify if it allows them to follow a path that they think is quicker and allows them to have a lot more sugar. So if we look at these two principles, we've identified two big reasons why sometimes people get things wrong when they're trying to bulk. Number one, they just eat too much volume for them. That's to say they shock their body by increasing their total caloric intake overnight by up to about 50%. And secondly, they massively increase the volume of simple sugars into their diet, trying to cut a few corners and speed up their journey of weight gain, which again, it will do, but not really the kind of weight that we want. So let's now look at a third generalized cock-up that people often make when they're trying to bulk quickly, and that is to cut out all conditioning work. Now, I know a lot of you guys watching and listening to this now will be recreational bodybuilders, not too bothered about building an engine or doing that much cardio. That's fine. And in fact, I regularly talk about the fact that we are all bodybuilders to a point, right? We all care about our physique and having a body and a look and aesthetic appeal that we are proud of. Those people who say they only care about performance and they don't care at all, not even 1% about the way they look, are flipping lying. But including a few kind of sprint conditioning modalities bolted on to the end of your weight session 2 to 3 times a week for about 10 minutes at a time is a great way to build a little bit of an engine, have some kind of cardiovascular stimulus where you don't have to luckily worry about losing any of your gains from the weight room. So that being said, it's a little bit of a shame that I've seen so many friends and clients, even now to this day, cut out all cardio and anything that kind of remotely could be considered conditioning work in a way to decrease output. Again, I kind of understand the logic here, but that does not need to be done and isn't great for your overall health and longevity. You can absolutely pack on some good healthy muscle mass, put on a bit of timber while maintaining a little bit of an engine and doing these sprint conditioning modalities bolted onto the end of your weight sessions. 10 minutes at the end of your lifting sessions 3 times a week is not going to compromise your gains. Trust me, that, do not panic. So far guys, we've identified 3 common ways, from my experience and observation anyway, that a lot of people seem to make mistakes on when trying to bulk in a healthy and sustainable way. Increasing input by too much overnight, dirty bulking and massively increasing the number of simple sugars added into the diet, and cutting out all output, walking up flipping stairs, any kind of cardio, and other such ridiculous changes. Well, if they're all mistakes, Jim, what should we be doing, I hear you cry? And luckily it is kind of as simple as just reverse engineering the stuff that we just looked at and pretty much just doing the opposite. In regards to the cardio element, just keep doing the same, or maybe transition slow, steady state work into more sprint modalities. In regards to the food side of things, which is obviously what most of you are here to kind of watch and listen to now, luckily, in my experience, it is actually super simple, and that's something that I've always been flipping grateful for. Okay, so number of meals, no change. Simple so far, right? Foods consumed, no change. Keep eating the same stuff. If there are high calorie foods that you want to start introducing, we can talk about that stuff in a minute. But overall, keep exactly the same. And here's where the change does come in. Portion size, increase by about 10 to 15%. I almost feel guilty sharing this with you because it sounds so flipping easy, but I don't want to do what I actually pass judgment on a lot of my flipping colleagues in the fitness industry do, and that is make things overly technical and overly complicated to make something sound more scientific and revolutionary, where if they kept things nice and simple, it would actually work better. In this case, it really is as simple as that. An extra 10 to 15% of each portion size for each of your meals throughout the day will give your body the fuel and tools it needs to be super anabolic, repair all the damaged muscle tissue from the work in the gym, but not too much that it's actually overloading your digestive system, making you constantly tired, and again, ironically, detracting time, effort, and energy from your body to heal those damaged muscle tissues and actually make you bigger. And one of the super important benefits to this, especially for those of you that are a little bit older, have a few more kind of responsibilities in life, and training is something that you're super passionate about, but you don't want to disrupt your routine too much to achieve your objectives, this doesn't really disrupt your routine at all. You're doing pretty much exactly the same, eating at the same time, eating the same meals, it's just with a slightly bigger serving each time you do it. Onto an important part now though, we all know, or should know by now, that we need protein to help repair damaged muscle tissue from weight training. I hope you all know that stuff anyway, but in regards to carbs and fats, the best ratio is completely individualized, and I beg of you, do not listen to anybody else who says a standardized approach is the best way. For some of you, your energy through the day, your cognition and your performance will be optimized with a diet that is comprised of 70% carbohydrates. For some of you, your performance, cognition and energy will be optimized by a diet that is comprised of about 10% carbs. To find out what the best one is for you, try doing something like a DNA fit test. This is like a saliva swab test, put it in tubes, send it off, and you get back an unbelievable amount, this plethora of information. And in my opinion, one of the most valuable bits of information it gives you, it's science-backed substantiation of what the best macro ratio is for your body. Carbs, fats and protein, and it will give you clarity on how best to balance this based on your own physiology. Really hope you enjoyed that, guys, and got some value from it. And if you want to know a little bit more about how my supplementation game has changed over the last kind of 9-10 months, then please do click this link just here and find out what new additions to my supplement cupboard have now quickly become my 2021 non-negotiables. As always, team, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.